Hello students! So this little mini lesson today is going to be about inverse operations and about solving one-step equations. So first off, inverse operations, those are two operations that can cancel each other out. And so most of you probably already know this, but again, so adding and subtracting are inverse operations. Multiplying and dividing are inverse operations that can cancel each other out. And so we're going to look at a few examples of one-step equations. And again, I know this may be something that some of you and most of you may already know, but again, we want to make sure that everyone has the basics. Alright, so let's say that we've got the equation x plus 3 equals 17. Alright, so you notice here the operation is adding. They're adding plus 3. So what we're going to do is we're going to have to cancel out that addition by subtracting the same number from both sides. You may be wondering, well, what number are we going to subtract? You're going to subtract the same number that you see that's being added. Since they're adding 3, let's subtract that 3 so that we can get it to be canceled out, and that will leave just x by itself. Alright, so let's do that. So we're going to subtract 3 here, and again, what we do to one side of the equation, we have to do to both sides of the equation so that we can keep the equation balanced. Alright, so that cancels out, and we're going to be left with x equals 17 minus 3. Now 17 minus 3 is 14. So x equals 14. What that means is that 14 is the only value, the only number that can work where this equation is actually true. 14 plus 3 equals 17. 14 is the only number that can make that equation true. Alright, so next thing. Let's say we got the equation negative 2 plus x equals 7. So, some of you may already know that when you see something like this, that this is a negative 2. And some of you also may know that this equation that you're looking at right here, it can be rewritten, and it's actually the same equation as what I'm about to write here. We can rewrite this as a subtraction equation. So it can be rewritten just like this. X minus 2 equals 7. Alright, so again, the way that we would solve this, because you guys can see here, because that was a negative 2, alright, and this is negative 2 here. Alright, so this is a subtraction equation, and we would have to solve this by canceling out that subtraction by adding. And so again, what number are we going to add to both sides of the equation? We're going to add the same number that's being subtracted. So we're going to add 2 to both sides of the equation. Plus 2, plus 2. Alright, we have to do it on both sides of the equation. So it cancels out on the left side of the equal sign. Alright, and we are left with x equals 7 plus 2. 7 plus 2 is 9. 9 is the only answer for x that will make this equation true. Negative 2 plus 9 equals 7. Or if we look at it another way, 9 minus 2 equals 7. Alright, that's that equation. Good so far? Okay, let's look at this one. If we have the equation 3x equals 18, 3x equals negative 18, we would have to get this to cancel out. But first, hopefully everyone knows and remembers that when we see something like this and we see a number beside a variable, that number is a coefficient. So 3 is the coefficient for x, but what that means is this. It means that we have 3 and it's being multiplied times x. So when you see a number directly beside a variable and there are no operation symbols in between, like 3x, that is multiplication. So again, to solve this equation, we have to cancel the multiplying by dividing the same number on both sides of the equal sign. So we're going to divide by 3, and we're going to divide by 3 on both sides. It cancels on the left side of the equal sign, and we're left with x equals 18 divided by 3. Now 18 divided by 3 is 6. So 6 is the only number, the only value for x that will make this equation true, because 3 times 6, that is -6. So again, -6 is the only value here that will make this equation work, because 3 times -6 is equal to -18. Alright, next equation here. We've got x divided by -5 equals -9. X divided by -5, we're going to have to cancel that dividing by multiplying the same number on both sides of the equal sign. So, again, we cancel this by multiplying by -5. We're going to multiply by the same number that's being divided. So again, we take this and we multiply by -5. And again, we have to multiply on both sides of the equation. Got to keep our equation balanced. So what we do to one side, got to do to both sides of the equation. Alright, so when we multiply by -5, that cancels out the dividing and the multiplying. We are left with x equals -9 times -5. Well, -9 times -5 is positive 45. So 45, positive 45, is the only number that will work when we plug it in to this equation. It's the only value of x that will make this equation true, because 45 divided by -5 is equal to -9. Well, that concludes today's mini lesson on inverse operations and one-step equations. I hope you got something out of this. I hope that it was either a refresher, and I hope that it wasn't new for anybody, but it should have been a refresher. But again, I do hope that you got something. All right.